Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful week so far. Today, we're going to be diving into Cardano, and we're going to be going over some of the main headlines gripping the cryptocurrency space at the moment. We're going to be talking about one of the big ones, and that is what's come out about the IRS. Now, there's lots of articles floating around, lots of tweets floating around talking about how the IRS are potentially not going to tax unsold staking rewards. And we're going to get into this because it's still not clear whether this is or isn't the case. We're going to be breaking down where this has came from. For example, the likes of Blockworks tweeted, breaking, IRS will not tax unsold staked crypto as income. Now, this hasn't officially been confirmed by the IRS. Always do not take anything you hear on Twitter for gospel. Always go and seek legal advice, because the last thing you want to do is mess with the IRS. Yes, we know taxes are largely misspent and the majority go to waste and to enrich people who are already plentiful. However, you don't want to mess with a taxman, guys, because you will end up in jail, or they will end up ruining your life for however long they want to investigate you for. So don't take this as gospel. We'll talk about where this has actually come from. Of course, this directly applies to Cardano, as we know that you can stake Cardano and earn around about 5%. This also potentially applies to ISPOs, initial stake pool offerings. At the moment, there's no sort of regulatory framework or solid regulatory framework specific to crypto. It's kind of grouped into a basket of categories. So we'll talk about where this came from, why this is circulating at the moment. We'll cover a number of different articles that kind of break it down. I also want to talk to you about the blockchain bridge wormhole between Ethereum and Solana. So a very popular bridge that connects Ethereum and Solana. We know bridges are becoming more and more of a thing. Actually saw a huge hack take place. I think it was around about $326 million worth of value get hacked. This is something that this isn't anything new, by the way, guys. Blockchains across the board get hacked, I'm sure. And we're yet to find out with Cardano. At some point, potentially, there will be a hack on ADA. But this is something that's quite serious and needs addressing. And this is one reason why I'm so confident in Cardano. I think they've done things the right way. And I think that a lot of these hacks are going to be avoided by, instead of just kind of learning as you're going along. One way that Ethereum have done things really is they've kind of deployed and then learned throughout deployment. Whereas Cardano was methodically peer-reviewed things prior to releasing them. So they've took it's often been called the tortoise blockchain. They've took the longer route that may eventually end up with them winning the race, or at least certainly that's what I'm hoping for as a huge Cardano supporter, fan, and holder. We're also going to be diving into a number of things. I'm going to be bringing this up again. I brought this up yesterday, and I'm going to keep bringing it up until it sinks in. ADA whale accumulation. Now, it's not talking about the ADA whale on Twitter. It's talking about a category of Cardano holders that are classified as whales. The balance held by addresses with 1 to 10 million ADA has increased by a whopping 40% in just the first month of 2022. These addresses now collectively hold 24.8% of the circulating supply. And you can see this is a graph. We'll just quickly skim over this now I'm talking about it. And you can see when this particular class has actually dumped prior, the price has followed. And you can see there's been a sharp increase in accumulation. What is this going to lead to? Well, we'll find out shortly. We know Cardano is at this kind of crucial range of historical support, which I think it has a very good chance of holding, providing, we know the kind of macro financial landscape at the moment is very shaky, given monetary policies, given geopolitical events, etc., etc., etc. But crypto has a very bright future, and turbulence is just a part of the journey to getting to that destination. We keep stressing that. Crypto is yet to see adoption. It's yet to see global adoption. These are all things coming down the road. Blockchain is on a adoption journey that it's very early in, and that's the value proposition with being involved in some of these crypto, and certainly something like Cardano that could play a real role in changing the world. So this is always, this is huge as far as I'm concerned. It tells you really what you need to know. We're also going to talk about the fact that Cardano has seen continuous growth. What you're seeing right now, and we stated this in the earlier video today, is not a crypto problem in terms of the price pulling back. It's a economic problem. where people are taking risk off of markets due to uncertainty. It's got nothing to do with the cryptos necessarily, which is it sounds very counterintuitive, because you'd think that price would be determined on the merit of a certain crypto or a certain asset. It actually doesn't really work like that. There are a number of variables. There's a basket of variables that all have to go into that equation that makes up the price. And remember, price is always determined on the margins. That's new money coming in and out, basically. Hodlers don't really affect the price. What they do is take supply off the table, which means at the margin, if there's a shortage of supply but an increase in demand, price goes up. And this is how markets work. I've got some brilliant books I can recommend you guys read in regards to markets. The next phase that we're moving into is, of course, the Basho phase, which sees the tackling of scalability, looking like we may get Hydra or variations of Hydra implemented within this year. This is huge. Forget your other layer 1 TPS blockchains. This is going to optimize Cardano as a blockchain and see it be capable for any use case that gets thrown at it. And there are many. Smart contract blockchains have a wide reach, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm more bullish on things like Ethereum, things like Cardano, things like Algorand, than I am Bitcoin, for example, because I think these smart contract blockchains have a far wider reach. And of course, we know that there was a network, or is going to be, I think it's tomorrow, a network update, which should increase Cardano's layer 1 throughput by about 11%, optimize Cardano's layer 1 by about 11%. So all very exciting things, all moving in the right direction. Let's talk about this. Breaking: IRS will not tax unsold staked crypto as income. Now, this has surfaced from, and this was the article from Forbes, is one of the best ones that I've read, from a court case. Taxation of staking rewards has been a controversial topic for many years because the IRS has failed to issue any clear guidance on this matter. In the absence of this guidance, many taxpayers defaulted to following a conservative approach for taxation, reporting income at the time you receive the rewards. So what a lot of people are doing, and please, like I say, guys, don't avoid paying taxes, because it will catch up on you. And the sort of punishments that they issue for people not paying taxes are steep. We can show you a million examples of that. I mean, you will get more time in jail, in prison, than some of the most heinous crimes committed. I mean, they really do go after and penalize people that don't pay taxes. We've seen that, John McAfee was a perfect example. Rest in peace. But essentially, what this has surfaced from was a court case where Joshua Jarrett and Jessica Jarrett essentially had launched a case against the US, saying that they shouldn't have been taxed on their staking rewards at point that they received them, because they hadn't yet sold. And they've won that case. During the 2019, a Nashville couple, Jarrett, received 8,876 Tezo staking rewards. These coins were worth $9,000 at the time of receipt. By relying on the conservative approach above, the Jarrett reported $9,000 as income and paid taxes appropriately. Only July the 31st of 2020, so nearly a year later, the couple filed an amendment tax return arguing that the $9,000 staked income shouldn't have been income in the first place. The amendment returned the demand a $3,793 tax refund from the IRS. The couple didn't receive a timely response from the IRS, and essentially it's rolled round, and they have indeed won that case and been issued a refund. And this is a huge argument that is yet to be settled, and the IRS haven't still. Just because this one case has been won doesn't mean that they've given you guys the all clear to not pay income tax on it. You've still got to seek legal advice and an advice from an accountant for how you're going to file out your taxes. It's a really grey area, because let's say, for example, I receive 1,000 Cardano with staking rewards. That Cardano back in September the 1st was worth, nearly $3. And at the time, that was $3,000. But I didn't sell, and it's now only worth $1,000. how can you tax somebody $3,000 when they've held on to it and not actually physically profited in terms of the fiat system? So there's a huge debate on this. This isn't biblical in the sense that, you know, the IRS haven't officially, there's a bit on the article that actually talks about this. How staking is taxed. The IRS has not issued any staking specific crypto tax guidance. The closest guidance that could be offered to infer how staking income should be taxed is the tax guidance on mining income issued back in 2014. So there's, you know, they're kind of taxing staking in the same way that they're taxing mining rewards, even though there is a difference. So it's all a grey area. You know, this has been serviced, it's been very popular and been largely blown out of context, I think. I do, however, think that they're not going to tax it as income. This is not legal advice, guys. This is just, it makes sense for them not to tax it as income to me. But we'll see how this unravels, because there's not been any clear guidance today, and I wouldn't take this as clear guidance. There's also an article here. In Win for Crypto Stakers, IRS offers refunds on untraded tokens. A decision to refund taxes paid on staking rewards could have a large implication for the proof of work miners and stakers are taxed in the future, and how stakers are taxed in the future. So it's a step in the right direction, but nothing gospel yet, guys. So take it for what it is, and it talks about the court case being won. We know that we had a huge hack between a Ethereum and Solana bridge. Blockchain bridge wormhole suffers possible exploit worth over $326 million. The popular bridge for connecting Ethereum, Solana, and more is now attempting to negotiate an on-chain with a hacker. This happens time and time again. This was the tweet. I think they've already started to sell off some of the Ethereum that was wrapped on Solana for other assets. It's just a shame, but this isn't, you know, I played around with a DEX called Tinyman, which is an Algorand DEX. Algorand's DeFi ecosystem is just sort of starting, if you will, with a number of projects on Algorand. And they had a liquidity issue, or a liquidity bug, if you will, which essentially allowed hackers to drain liquidity from the pools. You know, this is something that we're voyaging on uncharted waters in many respects here. Just like a lot of the tax laws, you know, this is still, and this is one of the, you can choose to look at this as, okay, we're very early, or it's not a huge success. You know, we're so early that these things are going to happen. We've not seen it happen yet on Cardano, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are exploits, hopefully not to this degree. Solidity code is used, of course, across the board in both Solana and Ethereum and other, you know, lots of people blaming the code that it's wrote in Solidity, whereas we know Haskell is the language for Cardano, which is actually very popular within fintech companies, and actually financial companies often like to use Haskell, claiming that it has certain advantages. So we'll see, but, you know, yes, you know, I get a little bit annoyed with Solana for a few reasons that I'm not going to go into. I'm sure they are quite obvious, certainly if you're into Cardano. But, you know, this is something that happens all the time. But it's really sad to see, because ultimately people have lost money as a result of this. It's not the already rich developers or the VCs that lost money necessarily. It's people like me and you that invest in these markets with good faith and get exploited. So that's why it's always important to do your due diligence. Let's move on swiftly. We spoke about the whales. We spoke about the growth. You can see it here, guys. 12% uptick in wallets, 11% uptick in delegated wallets, 13% uptick in Plutus scripts, 16% uptick in native tokens, and 17% uptick in transactions. We are doing very well in terms of the blockchain volume transacted, often second only to Bitcoin. Things are moving in the right direction. And this brings me back to the point that the price action that you've seen is not necessarily a Cardano specific, is not necessarily Cardano related, but more market related. And there will come a time where that value gets realized. And we're still very early on the journey that we are on. I think in the future, Cardano is going to get to Ethereum's market cap and above and beyond, providing, you know, there's a certain set of conditions that are met. And I think those conditions are present, and will continue to, you know, remember, we're on a journey and there's ups and downs within that. And of course, we spoke about the Basho era, and we also spoke about the fact that they are, there's a network update coming at the end of this epoch. I think it's 2, that says over here. No, it doesn't. I think it's 319 at 9. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, there's an upgrade that should see Cardano's throughput and scalability kind of receiving 11% uptick, which is huge, guys. Everything's moving in the right direction. That's the main takeaway. Some interesting things I thought I'd share with you. The IRS thing, this isn't gospel, so don't take it as that. Always seek legal accounting advice on this sort of stuff, guys, because the last thing you want to do is have the IRS investigating you. I know people that has had it happen to them, and it'll throw your life upside down, guys. So always err on the side of caution. That's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So as a comment, remember we do have the all-in crypto stake pool. We minted another block today, which I'm over the moon about. It's a long time dream of mine to be a Cardano stake pool operator, and we're here now, ladies and gentlemen. So big thank you to all the delegators. Link to my Discord in the description for anybody interested in joining the community. All I have for you guys, I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching.